Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni explains to Yudhisthira Maharaj what are the qualities of a brahmachari, or what one does in Gurukul. In the 17th chapter in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains about the qualities of knowledge. And there he says, Abhayam satvasam sudhira jnana yoga vyavastiti dhanam dhamnasya jagnascha swarya taparjavam. This is the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. There he mentions about brahmacharis, that they should be swadhyaya. They should study their self, their real self, namely the soul. And the actual activity of the real self is to become an instrument for Krishna. Because now one may be in Gurukul, but time, Krishna says, Kalosmi Bharatarshava. Time I am, and this body of a child will soon become the body of an adult, and then an old person, and then we get another body, either spiritual or material, depending upon what we understand, what we desire, and what we do in this world. So, Swadhyaya is the beginning, but then that's supposed to, if one becomes a householder, then there's Dana, Damas, and Yagya. In other words, the qualities that one should develop should be the qualities that will lead one to realizing that we're eternal souls. With a little understanding, a little intelligence, we can understand that our bodies are changing, but we're not changing. We're the consciousness within the body that makes the body appear to be alive. Just like if you put your hand in a puppet, it appears that the puppet is alive and it's moving. But if you take your hand out of the puppet, then the puppet falls down on the ground and people say that the puppet's dead. But the puppet was never alive. It was only because we had the hand in the puppet that appeared to be alive. So similarly, because the soul is ourselves, or within this body, that the body appears to be alive, but actually it's not alive, it's actually dead. And something that's dead can't die. Make sense? Did anyone ever hear of a puppet dying when you took your hand out of it?
Did you hear that they say puppet dies? No.
No. Is there such a thing as a puppet graveyard? When you take your hand out of the puppet and it falls to the ground, then everyone cries, oh, the puppet's dead. So let's put it into a box and take it to a ghat and burn the puppet and throw the ashes into the river. So similarly, this body is like a puppet, and we're within the body, and Krishna is the puppet master. Now the question is, what is the ultimate objective of being in this body? So Krishna says, Abhayam sattva samchudira jnana yoga vyavastiti. So abhayam means fearless. And one can only become fearless when we realize we're not this body, that we're a spiritual being, and that the jayate nriyate va kadachin nanyam bhutva bhavita nana bhuyaha ajo pi shastrato yam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. For ourselves, there's actually no birth and death, nor having once been will we ever cease to be. We're unborn, unchanging, undying. We're not slain when our body dies. So this is the purpose of life, is to realize our eternal identity. Without realizing our eternal identity, then life is simply paravas tavad abodha jata yavani jignasita atma tattvam yavan kriyas tavad idamano vai karmatmaka yena sharira bandhaha. Paravas, we're defeated by illusion. Prahlad Maharaj said that in this world there's no enemy except for the uncontrolled mind. So if we allowed our minds to defeat us by engaging us in some activity other than realizing our true self, then we're said to be defeated by the illusory energy. Nunam pramata kurute vikarma yadendriya pritya apnoti sadamanye yatatmano yam asanapi kleshida ashadeha. So Maharaj Yashoda said, it's amazing, Nunam pramatak, that we're so crazy that just for temporary sense gratification, scratching the itch, then the result is we have to be subjected to so many miseries and live in a temporary body and change our body from one body to the next. So as long as we're absorbed in this consciousness, paravas tavad abodha jata, then we're defeated by ignorance. Yavana jignasita atma tattva. As long as we're not curious and interested in discovering atma tattva, the truth about the self, then our consciousness, our minds are covered by illusion, and therefore our real awareness, our consciousness, is cloudy, and we have to take one body after another. So that means we have to learn how to utilize our body, minds, and words in Krishna's service, because this is actually, the body belongs to Krishna, and we should utilize it for Krishna. If something belongs to someone else and they're given to us to utilize it in their service, then we should utilize it in their service. Otherwise, we become a thief. Modern society is like a bunch of thieves who've gotten together to rob a bank. And all the thieves, after robbing the bank, they get together in a hideout, and the head thief stands up and says, "My dear fellow thieves, you did a great job robbing the bank. All glories to the thieves." So everyone chant, "All glories to the thieves."
All glories to the thieves.
Really? Is that what you teach, that they teach in Gurukul? No. Anyhow, the head thief says, "My dear fellow thieves, you've done a great job, but I only have one request to all of you. Please, please, I beg of you, let us divide up this money honestly." So they're all thieves. They've stolen from a bank, and now they want to become honest thieves. Is there such a thing as an honest thief? Has anyone ever stolen anything honestly from someone? So the whole material world is a group of thieves stealing from Krishna. And yet they pass so many rules and regulations telling us how we should be honest. Follow the rules and regulations. That's honesty. The thieves are creating rules and regulations, and they're telling us to follow them to become honest. But by following the rules and regulations of the thieves, we don't become honest unless we find out who is actually the actual lawgiver. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavan pranitam. That Krishna, he's actually the judge of everything. He's the actual one who gives law, dharma. Now, in the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami tells us how we should engage ourselves in serving Krishna. he says, Vacha Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udrapasta Vegam, Etan Vegam, Yo Vishaheta Dira, Sarvam Prativam, Prativim Shashishat. That one should control Vacha Vegam, the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the forces, the tongue, the forces of anger and the tongue, belly, and genitals. They're qualified to make disciples all over the world. So also in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the same thing. He begins in the 17th chapter by explaining about how to utilize the body properly. There he says, Deva Dvija Guru Pragya, Pujanam Socham Arjavam, Brahmachari Mahimsam Cha Shariram Tap Uchite. So we're trying to become brahmacharis, but the first thing is Deva Dvija Guru Pragya. We should learn how to respect the proper superiors, like Dvija, Deva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his representatives. The Dvija, the Brahmins, the Guru, Pragya, and learned persons. So we should learn how to respect them, otherwise we can't develop any good qualities. Everyone needs a leader. Mahajano yena kata sapanta. Everyone has to follow someone. Yad yad acharya shrestas tad tad eve turo janaha. Everyone has to find a leader, find some superior, find someone who respects and follow them. You can follow a rugby player, a soccer player, a cricket player. And if you follow a cricket player, one day you'll also become like a cricket. Who wants to become a cricket? You want to become a cricket? Okay. Krishna will fulfill your desire.
You mean the cricket insect?
This little insect called a cricket.
You understood what Maharaj is saying? There's an insect called cricket. So if you're after cricket players and you watch cricket, you'll also become a cricket insect in the next life.
One Prabhupada was talking to one in a university, and he said that if you act like a dog, then you'll become a dog in your next lifetime. Swa, who wants to become a dog? Anyone wants to become a dog in their next lifetime? So Prabhupada said, if you act like a dog, then you'll become a dog in your next lifetime. So one student raised her hand and said, Swamiji, you say if I act like a dog, I'm going to become a dog in my next lifetime. But I want you to know, I don't care if I become a dog. I want to become a dog. So Srila Prabhupada raised his hand and said, you have my blessings. So, if we act like a dog, rawr, 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 and bark, then in the next lifetime we'll become a dog. Just like the United Nations, Prabhupada said, they got together to unite the nations together, but actually they come with a dog mentality, that this nation belongs to me, this nation belongs to someone else, and when we get together, we bark like dogs at each other. I'm a big dog. I'm an Indian dog. I'm an American dog. I'm a bigger dog. I'm a Lankan dog. I'm a little dog. Don't bite me. So people are acting like dogs and quarreling with each other and barking. So there's no peace, there's no happiness. So we have to respect those who are actually on a higher level, and then there's possibility, Deva, Dvija, Guru, Pragya, Pujanam, Socham, Arjavam. Then we can learn how to worship, become clean, and become an actual brahmachari. And non-violent, favorable towards everyone, friend of everyone, Suridam Sarvabhutanam, become a representative of Krishna. And then Krishna says, Anuvega Karam Vakyam. Oh yeah. Anuvega Karamvakyam. Hit.
You can repeat also, Maharaj.
Okay. Anuvega Karamvakyam.
Anuvega Karamvakyam.
What's the next word?
Satyam Priyam.
No.
Satyam Priyam.
Satyam Priyam Hitam Chayat. It's all right. It's all right. Swaraya Pyasanam Chaiva. Vangmaya Tapuchate. Anuvega Karamvakyam. Sattvam Priyahitam Chayat. Swaraya Pyasanam Chaiva. Vangmaya Tapuchate. So here that same word is given, Swaraya Pyasanam Chaiva, that study. We have to study how to utilize our tongue, because the tongue, what we vibrate, is our intelligence. What we're hearing, what we're vibrating, this will be what we understand. If we act like a dog and we talk like a dog and bark like a dog, then we'll understand things like a dog understands things. And if we talk like a devotee and utilize our tongue in the service of Krishna, atakshi Krishna namani, na braved grayam indriyai, seva mukhehi jivado, swayam eva sparatyada. If we utilize our tongue by chanting about Krishna, explaining about Krishna, eating Krishna prasadam, then we'll understand, then Krishna will give us dadami buddhi yogam tam. He'll give us the intelligence by which we can make progress to becoming liberated from our material misconceptions of life. So it begins with, of course, Krishna, satyam, telling the truth. And the truth is that we're not this body. Krishna explains what the truth is. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatvam shantim richati. The sages who know me as the ultimate controller of all the planets of the demigods, of the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, as the ultimate benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, he actually becomes peaceful, becomes free from the pangs of material miseries. He becomes shanti. This is the actual formula for peace. And unless Krishna says, nasti buddhya yuktasya, na cha yuktasya bhavanaha, na cha bhavyantak shantir, ashantasya kutak sukham. Therefore, one who's not in transcendental consciousness or Krishna consciousness can have neither controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can it is our Father? Unless we listen to the Vedas, we won't understand anything. Vedaischa savaraham eva vedyo, Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. The Vedas give us the direction how to obtain Krishna. At the same time, anuvega karamvakyam, we should not agitate people's minds. We should tell them something that they can understand. Most people have a hard time accepting that their body is changing, but they're not changing. Most people can't understand the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita, and what's the first instruction that Krishna gave to Arjuna. What's the first instruction that Krishna gave Arjuna?
What's the first instruction Krishna gave Arjuna?
What's that? I can't hear. It begins with Dehi no. So that's what we should explain to people at the beginning. Your body's changing, but you, the soul within the body, aren't changing. So you should maintain your body in a healthy way, but you should not only take care of the cage of the bird, you should also take care of the bird in the cage. Give the bird spiritual food, and then the bird will be healthy, and one day we'll be able to fly out of the cage and fly back to the spiritual world. So anavega karam vakyam sattva priyitam chayat swarya abhyasanam chaiva vangmana tap uchate. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Okay, one or two questions if you have. You can please ask. Okay, come.
Maharaj, I had a question that what is the difference between realizing that we are souls and not just body, and just knowing that we are souls and not body?
Just like if you see a bottle of honey and you know this is honey and you lick the bottle because you know it's honey, but what happens if you go inside the bottle, you get a spoon and take a scoop of honey out of the bottle and you taste it? Is there any difference between looking at the honey, knowing it's honey, and tasting the honey? Is there a difference? Yes, one is called Gyan and the other is Vigyan. One is theoretical and the other is scientific. So Krishna consciousness should be an experience, not just a theory.
So any other questions?